Question: did you ever wonder why 87% of agents fail within their first year and 85% fail within the first 5 years? There's a reason, and it has a lot to do with investing back into your business, specifically your marketing. Let's talk about it. I come across a lot of agents that operate their business almost like a sales rep, right? So they like the time flexibility they get. They like the autonomy they have with their schedule per se. They're almost like a mice on a hamster wheel running in a circle, but never actually building enough leverage to have the wheel run itself. Honestly, it's been really interesting to work specifically with real estate agents, but then to come from outside of the industry, right? Because you start to realize that real estate is very interesting in that it's one of the only businesses where you can make a ton of money off of just person to person referrals without actually sustainably running a business. What I mean is, if you were in any other type of business, a coffee shop, a gas station, you would actually have to market the business to bring in clients. You would have to invest a portion of what you're making back into your marketing, and that would be not even a question. It would be hands down, you need to do that. It would be a part of your business planning. But what's interesting about agents is if they get enough referrals sometimes, or they get lucky enough, or even if they door knock enough sometimes, they could end up with a business that fuels them for a little bit amount of time, but eventually that runway would run out. And what's crazy to me about that is that they never think that, oh, what I need to do is actually reinvest what I made from referrals or from my network back into something more scalable, which would be my marketing, especially if it's done on social and with the right intention. And then sometimes even worse, if they do end up finally investing into social media marketing, they do it in a way where they're DIY, essentially doing it themselves. And because it has no strategy, oftentimes it's just kind of keeping up with the Joneses, which is just listed, just sold posts. And honestly, in a 2025 landscape and beyond, that's not enough to get it done. Though I'm not a business coach per se, and I'm on the marketing and branding side of things, I do have a lot of business coach peers that work specifically with agents. And they prefer that the agents, no matter what level they're at, and especially if they're making a good amount of money, that they invest 10 to 15% of their GCI, their gross commission income, back into their marketing and lead generation. But I wonder sometimes, is that actually happening? When I talk to top agents, a lot of times they're investing that and more, which ironically is probably why they're the market leader in whatever market they're in. What's also interesting is from that 15 to 20% of the investment that they're putting back into their marketing and branding, almost 40% of that is said to be for the listing marketing, not even for the personal brand building of themselves. Basically, a lot of agents will spend more money invested into their client's listing, which I totally understand, but then they neglect the marketing that they need to do for themselves. They'd almost rather invest into marketing the listing than marketing themselves. And I totally understand why that happens, but what I'm challenging every agent to do is the same effort you go through when you do go all out to market the listing, what if you did that also for yourself? Listings stay on the market for only a certain amount of time. So if you do a nice video per se, and you present the property properly, that's a tongue twister, and you immediately see that income, it's very clear, like ROI wise, what happened there, right? But when you're investing into your personal brand, it's a longer haul. You're building more upstream. It could take a lot longer. It usually takes a lot longer because you're playing more of a forever game than a game that's, okay, I'm selling this within 2 to 3 weeks. Now, can you start building your personal brand and gain leads in 2 to 3 weeks? Yes, you can. But that off ramp is usually longer, 6 to 12 months sometimes. But the kickback is higher, both in what you gain from inbound leads, but also from the sales leverage you get from letting your content library work for you if it's done with intention and done with the correct messaging and creates the right impact. Real estate is unique because you can build a 6-figure income off of literally just speaking to your sphere. But like I said, in any other business, you'd be laughed out the room for not reinvesting or investing into your marketing, especially if you have a big growth goal. You want to double your income, but you don't want to invest into marketing and branding. I'm telling you, in other industries, that's just unheard of. The top agent and top agent teams, they don't work that way. They find the experts and they bring them in, not only to create better quality work, but also to create time leverage for themselves. So ask yourself, is that what you're doing, or are you going down this road of DIYing it yourself until you eventually burn out? They bring in experts, they create standout brands, and that creates systems around their content that runs while they continue to go on and serve clients at the highest level. They can stay in their zone of genius while the team that's supporting them and leveraging them behind the scenes gets to stay in their zone of genius. It's a perfect partnership. So I challenge you guys to stop thinking about marketing as an expense, like something that's a nuisance to you. I want you guys to start thinking about it as an investment into your time, an investment into leverage, an investment into giving you back more space to do the things you do great and potentially doubling your business while you're at it. So if you're an agent or an agent team and you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and actually start scaling, I want you to DM me. Let's have a conversation. Let's see where it goes from there.